Internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Skymetal, Iron Gods, The Fires of Creation, Part 9, 11. I can't Roman numeral. And we're back. I think it's been about a month since the last time we played. And it's been, feels like it's been a couple of weeks, at least a week or so since we've had any streams. So, hey, everybody, in case you forgot, here we are. No, it's good to be back. Good to be back with this group. And in just a moment, I'm going to turn things over to our Game Master Vi. But first, a couple of quick announcements. As always, if you take a look up here above my head, you will notice these peculiar glowing vials. They are, of course, the domain relics for our game. Domain relics, I never can get that to work on the first try. Domain relics are a sort of well, they're the domain tomes for this game. And the way they work is you, the audience, can cheer, 500 bits, tip $5, or you can subscribe, resubscribe, gift sub, all those good things. And when you do, we get domain relics that we can use for rerolls, gaining advantage, making the DM reroll, all those good kind of things that help us along in the game. But we can only do it with your help. We have other games that we play. It's been, like I said, it's been almost 2 weeks since we played. So just a reminder, this game every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursday will be our Welcome to Paradise Academy Season 2 of our Kids on Bikes RPG. And then that is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern also. And then every Monday, we'll be back next Monday with Scribes and Scrolls, our Pathfinder 2E campaign. So you can tune in to catch some of us over there. I think I only have one other thing to talk about before I turn it over. This is unusual that I get through my announcements so fast. But as always, we want to do a quick mental health check-in and let you know that you are enough. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. It's true. The world is a better place with you in it. You might be struggling, or maybe you're not struggling. In either case, maybe you need somebody to talk to, and you're not sure where to turn. We've made it pretty easy to find, to get started on your search to find somebody, because we do recommend if you are struggling and you need somebody to talk to, or we recommend that you do find somebody to talk to. You can come right here into the chat, type !help. A couple URLs will pop up. Findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our Game Master, Vi.
Thank you, Jake. We will pick up our game where we left off. You are returning to Torch. The three of you. You were once four. You tried your best to plunge deeper into the dark unknown below the town of Torch, to find council member Coney Bane, to relight the fire of Torch. There you discovered chambers upon chambers of strange technological marvels, one of which was a sequence of rooms overgrown with plants, and creatures that walked, mimicking your movements, made of plants themselves. And these were the creatures that took Danik's life. Instead of pressing on, you turned your tail and returned to town. And here you have returned. You're overseeing a quiet short funeral for Danik. You didn't know him long, but, well, you grew to trust him and care for him, even. We're going to go character by character here and have your characters give you a little eulogy for your time with Danik. And we'll start with you, Yrsimagor, as we stand over on this hill, overlooking the Badlands that surround the town of Torch. What does Yrsimagor say and do at this funeral?
I think, remind me, Em, what was Danik's primary weapon?
He mostly used a short bow.
I think that I would have been holding on to this short bow until this point, and would walk up to Danik's body and carefully lay the bow across his chest and fold his hands over the bow. Look down at his body and just kind of pat his hands, turn and look at the rest of our group, look at anybody else who might be gathered. He died fighting. And in my eyes, that means he died with honor. And then I step back. Yrsimagor is not one for words.
How about you, Zaari?
Know how many words Zaari would have really had for Danik. I think she may I think she might take a piece of her armor, like a little bit of like her chainmail, and almost as if, you know, she will protect him kind of even in death because he died protecting them. And maybe say a little prayer to her god to watch over Danik. But everybody here knows she's not really much for words.
And you, Daeralei.
I think this is the most talkative eulogies I've ever been at. But we all know Daeralei is also not one to speak much. And they just approach silently towards Danik's body there. Looks down. Kind of silently just looking at Danik, what's left, and thinking, then without saying much, they'll reach back into one of their pockets and they pull out a flask. They take the top off and take a sip and then lay it down with Danik. Someday, my friend, if I may call you that, we had many disagreements. We didn't always see eye to eye, but you were there when we needed you. And wherever you go, we'll be here when you need us again. And as there are many stars in the sky, that's how many times we will drink together at some point. And then they'll just kind of turn and leave.
Stillness and quietness and silence stretches out over this funeral gathering. You've said your pieces, but still there's this moment of sanctity you give for Danik. As you stand there, thinking, giving your peace of mind. Veris, you have been wandering through the town of Torch here. You've heard of Yrsimagor's return from his expedition. You've been trying to track him down. And there you see him. You finally found him. Just past this row of houses here, down past this little grove, you see the big mountain of Yrsimagor. He's with 2 other companions. Go ahead and describe your character and what they do from here as they find their long-lost friend.
Yeah, so Veris, you see him, he's wearing this long brown coat, and he on his back carries a very interesting backpack. One could say that it probably does look like just like this bookshelf almost on his back, as he has all of these different scrolls and boxes and tiny bottles that rattle around. They're all haphazardly strapped in using various fabrics. It all looks like it's about to explode and fall apart at any given moment, and it rattles around. As I imagine he is walking by this row of houses and almost does like a double take when he has to, walk back and kind of look, and he sees Yrsimagor standing. Are they? Is this when they're at the grave, or like what?
Yeah, they're at the funeral. They've given their moments of peace and words. And you see
Okay, so
Yrsimagor
this
there.
is like this is like a cemetery.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Veris, he just walks up, and Yrsimagor, you would feel, how tall is Yrsimagor? It's like 7 or 8 feet.
Well, he's not quite 8 feet, but
I'm assuming.
he's full orc,
Okay.
so he's probably pushing 7 feet.
Oh, I think I froze.
You did. Did you catch that?
I did not, no.
He's full orc, so he's pushing 7 feet.
Okay. I imagine Veris is like 2 or 3 feet. So you would feel this like tap, 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 tap on your calf.
I think at first, I just do that thing where when you feel like something's irritating you, like a fly or something, it's like with my other foot, kind of scratch the back of my calf for a moment, not even looking down.
Hello, Yrsimagor. You hear this very timid voice.
I turn in the direction of the voice and then slowly look down.
Hello. I hope I'm not, I hope this isn't a bad time. Well, this is a fear. I assume that it's not a very good time, but I really needed to talk to you if this is a good time. He smiles. His hands are kind of nervously moving back and forth.
I think since I went first, I've already spoken I will step back and walk away from the main part of where the funeral is taking place, just about 10 feet. What are you doing here?
Well, great, you remember me. That is the first win. Well, I am here because I am... Okay, let me go back. You have already been to the underground area that I've been directed to, but unfortunately I haven't really found anyone who is willing to take me down there, or even go down there at all. It is, it's a little, I mean, you've been there, you would know. So I heard that you were here, and well, we have you've always just been so strong and big, and I just assumed that you would be going down there already, and you would have, you would also allow me as well to come with you. He smiles again.
I've often wondered if you would ever run out of words. Here's not. Yes. My companions and I have been down below. You see that one there, lying in the box, or on the, I don't know. Do we do flaming pyres, or are we burying? I don't know what we're doing.
I was gonna say, the way we made it sound, it's the flaming
feels
pyre.
appropriate to burn them.
I was gonna say, it doesn't.
Well, there's no torch anymore to dispose of the bodies, so
We have to light them on fire ourselves. Damn
Oh.
it.
As you can see, that person over there, lying on the pyre, he went down with us. He is just one
Oh,
of many casualties that the underground has claimed. What makes you think that it's a good place for you to be?
good point. As always, very, very poignant in your thoughts, Yrsimagor. That's what I've always, appreciated about you. He's like looking like nervously now over to Danik's body and back up to Yrsimagor. I had heard about a few casualties and deaths that have happened down there, but it is a little bit different just to kind of see it right there, sorry, I'm so sorry for your loss. That must have been really, really tough. And if you don't mind me saying, that would also mean that you have an opening. He smiles. He's like, oh no, I mean, sorry, you asked me a question. I need to go down there. And he reaches into his like little box that he has, and he takes out a bunch of these scrolls, and it's all like jumbled up, and he's like trying to show Yrsimagor like these like very crudely drawn, probably definitely inaccurate maps, but there are some pieces in there that are, I would, Vi, if you'll allow this, just like there are some pieces that are strangely accurate that he has. It's as if someone who has never been there but is pretty intelligent, makes a kind of an assumption of how a place is. He's like, I have heard that there is some just fascinating by architecture and buildings and materials down there that I must have to see for my research that I'm doing. It's very important, and I know you might not understand as a person of yourself, not to insinuate that you are in any way dumb, but you just have a different you hit things. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not making sense. You hit things, and I look at rocks and architecture and beautiful buildings. So it's really important to me that I go down there, and I thought you would be the best to go down there with. since you've already been there.
Let me see these. And I take just a handful of drawings that you have and immediately just start going, this is wrong. This is wrong. This one's good. This is wrong. What is this? Did a child draw this? This is no. And I just throw them on the ground and I give you back the ones that I recognize as being accurate. You are correct.
Oh, he's like...
We do have an opening.
Yeah. Oh.
It is...
Brilliant.
Very dangerous down there. And it is very important that we maintain, at times, silence. That means...
Yes, of course. I...
The amount of words that you've been using, just like I got rid of your extra papers, you're not going to want to use so many words. But...
He, like...
And I just kind of point, kind of tap your head, your forehead. You can use this. That's the closest you're going to get to a compliment about being very smart.
Yeah, you see him kind of smile. He's like, you can count on me. You know, they make sayings about me, or at least my cousins, you know, quiet as a mouse or rat, you know, okay, no, this is wonderful. Are you sure that these were wrong? He says as he like slowly picks up all of the papers that Yrsimagor threw out. Yes, of course. I know you are. You've been there. Oh, this is fantastic. You have no idea how long I've been looking for anyone to take me down. No one would, despite me offering them a quite hefty sum of money. I don't understand why no one would take me up on the offer.
I also wonder why. I feel like Veris is just going to keep talking to Yrsimagor, and I think it's going to be Zaari and Daeralei are going to have to eventually, whenever they're done, come over to find Yrsimagor just sort of standing there like this, and just this little guy just yapping away. Whenever that might be.
We'll make it awkwardly and long so that you have to stand there for a very long time.
Yeah. Veris is, well, so many things have changed since you've left, and you know, there so many. My shop was absolutely destroyed, which is very, very unfortunate. Which caused me to, but you know, ultimately, I'm very. You have other friends here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you introduce me to them? Hello.
Mm-hmm. It takes me a minute to realize you've stopped talking as I'm just sitting there going, yep. Oh. And suddenly recognizing the silence. Daeralei.
Are you picking up strays again, Yrsimagor?
It seems that I can't go far enough from home to leave this one behind. This is Veris. Veris is very intelligent. Veris will take Danik's place. Though he is much smaller. Wait, is Derek? Derek. Who's Derek?
Derek.
What's Veris's pronouns? I was making an assumption and I didn't want to do that.
Veris?
Yeah.
Oh, he, him.
Okay.
Yeah, he, him. Yep.
He is much smaller than Danik. He will take up less space and eat less food.
Yes, I think I'd be quite the useful addition to your team. Hi, he says as he like reaches up as in a handshake.
Daeralei will reach out one hand, just kind of almost trepidatiously, and just kind of grab one finger between two of their fingers and just kind of shake it a little.
I think Zaari would actually crouch down and just kind of hold her hand out.
Yeah, Veris just like, I imagine, just takes his two little paws and just like
Stop!
on either side and just kind of like wiggles.
Oh, it's so cute. I hate it.
Daerelei's hand. You are all very large. This is fantastic.
Daeralei will would look towards Yrsimagor. It doesn't bite, does it?
He does not bite. Unless, and I kind of glance and wink at Veris, unless you get him really angry.
Oh yes, I can be quite the scrappy fighter. When provoked, of course. He like looks back at Yrsimagor and like winks again, but like just for no other reason than he felt that was appropriate.
Daeralei's one eyebrow will raise, but they'll say nothing to that. Just kind of give a nod. Right.
You're going to join us, Veris. There is one thing you need to know. Perhaps the most important thing. Don't die.
It is not in my plan. Thankfully, I will not.
I'll do my best to make sure you don't.
That's great. I knew that I could count on you. He looks to the others, who I assume are probably maybe worse for wear a little bit. I don't know how much time has passed.
Even if we've had time to rest, which I don't know, did we just go right to a funeral, or have we rested a day, or?
You have a short rest you've had.
I imagine, yeah, that I know I was in pretty bad shape, so there's probably at least some bruises and some limping and whatnot.
As excited I am to get going and get onto this adventure as quickly as possible. And I hope I don't come across as rude or inconsiderate when I say this, but the three of you look a little injured, a little worse for wear, maybe a little dirty, in need of a bath. I am staying at the tavern just near here. I'd be more than happy to set the three of you up for a night or a night, and then we can go bright and early the next day once you've had a chance to recover. He like scratches like a part of his ear and looks at the three of you.
Okay, that got me. Because I just 100% can see that little rat ear thing. Carrie in chat said we must protect you at all costs, and now I think she might be right. This is good. Veris will be a good addition to our team. We must protect him at all costs.
Bath, you say? I think I like this one, Yrsimagor.
Bath. I guess it has been a month.
I will go first.
Does this town have anything like public baths, or is it more like a Red Dead Redemption thing at the inn, where there's like a room that you pay a quarter to go take a bath in or something?
There's a giant pond, a small lake, in the center of town that people often use as like a just like a communal like as a communal kind of bath area. But there are like some private baths in the expensive rooms in the lodgings.
Would you allow Vi for Veris to be able to?
Yeah, I think that you probably have bought yourself a really swanky.
I just
suite.
imagine with him being like a shop, like a merchant previously, like, yeah, if that's okay.
Yep. Okay. It'll be at the inn that you previously went to have that meeting with that real scummy guy in the
awesome.
a few sessions ago.
Well, I think that given that there's this communal lake, and I'm basically from this area if I remember correctly, then I think that would be pretty normal for Yrsimagor to go to the lake and with no signs of modesty just lay down his clothes and walk into the water and not so much bathe as just sort of float. Maybe find a rock to sit on or something.
I think Veris. I do have a bath at the inn in the rooms that we would. Okay, that's great.
It'll be fine for the others. This works for me.
Sure.
Yeah, Daeralei is 100% going to take Veris up on that offer of a bath.
I think Zaari would debate for a second, just like, quick dip in pond or real bath. Because I don't think she's had that many, like, real baths.
They're not all that exciting. You sit and stew in your own filth.
But isn't that what we do in the pond?
It's much bigger.
Except it's everyone's.
The key is to not think about that.
Is it warm?
It is right here.
Stop! Son of a bitch. No!
Nasty.
Sick.
I said it before I even knew what I was saying. Nobody better clip that.
Oh, they're gonna. I think after hearing that, Zaari is gonna just kind of like I think Daeralei, you'll help me, like, show me like what kind of soaps to use.
It just kind of give you a look, and then it's like, of course,
Thank you.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Thank
Well,
you.
Lead the way, little one.
I just love now that the rat is being followed by two large women.
Yeah, it's great. Veris is just like kind of just like hopping along. He would say, he said, So it is at the Ever Candle Inn, and there are some very, very fascinating people there. I came across a man who has a tiefling bodyguard who wasn't that kind, but he had some robots with him, and he was very, very pleasant to talk to. We had many conversations over the stew in the tavern. One might say. Veris just like prattles on, unless you stop him.
Daeralei doesn't stop him. Just let him talk.
So you're taken to Veris's very expensive, higher class Evercandle Inn suite up on the second floor of this inn, and you can go ahead and you can have Veris show around the room and the bath and all that stuff.
I will leave you to it. Please feel free to use whatever you need. I have this room for one more night, as I was assuming that I would get on this adventure a little bit sooner. But things have been delayed, and that's completely fine. I do think that it was meant for me to find Yrsimagor in order to make sure that I have the best group going down. And I just have to say, from what I've gotten to know about the two of you, which is absolutely nothing, but I am still so excited to have some companions going down into this this very exciting adventure. But you two, I will just be downstairs if you need anything. He says as he.
I think Daeralei is not even waiting. Like, as soon as you've shown where the bath is, immediately goes there and starts to undress. Like, you're prattling. He's not listening. She's just like, okay, having a bath. So
Yeah, I think Zaari would just kind of like stand with her back to Daeralei, and she's just kind of like listening to Veris, just nodding her head.
Yeah, and then at some point, Veris will leave.
Meantime, Yrsimagor, you're down in the lake, the basin of Torch. Your companions have left you behind. Is there anything you're wanting to do, or what's it like with Yrsimagor here and his lonesome?
I think that once everybody leaves, you see Yrsimagor kind of, for a moment, at first he just dives under the water, and stays under for a good minute or so, and then slowly rises up. And as I push the hair back, find myself staring off in the direction of where we had the funeral for Danik. And then glancing over to where the others walked away. And you just see a little bit of a frown crossing his face. Not so much like he's displeased, but I think to step inside his mind a little bit, it's genuinely worried about Veris, given what we've already seen. And to be honest, genuinely worried about Daeralei and Zaari. We all got our asses kicked down there. We can't let that happen again. I think after a little bit of just kind of swimming around in the water, I would come up to the shore to where my gear is and just kind of put on my small clothes, sit there air drying while grabbing Riker, the Skymetal longsword that I found down there, and pulling a sharpening stone out of my bag and just sitting there taking care of my weapon, cleaning it, sharpening edges on that and all my weapons. It's very warrior like, very mechanical, the kind of things that need to be done. But I think, again, inside Yrsimagor's mind is knowing that I need to I need everything to be ready, to be at its best, including ourselves, before we go back down there.
And so I think that as the day wraps up, as you all do all this like self-care that you need after facing the horrors below, will be a long rest for all of you, refreshing your character sheets and getting yourselves back up to full capacity here. With the morning arriving, the party reconvenes in one of the tables in the Evercandle Inn, having breakfast. It's still a bit awkward now with having breakfast with a new companion who, despite being 1/4 of the party, does about 90% of the talking. But over a meal, you begin to plan out what your day is like. You can go ahead and discuss this.
So what is the plan? I'm so intrigued to be able to go down there and get to where, you were where you got to before you had to come back. Tell me what happened? If it's not too soon to ask that.
I think I would just immediately kind of starting with that final fight where Danik died, just kind of matter of fact, telling you how the battle went, and kind of almost walking backwards through parts of the adventure. From Yrsimagor's point of view, you're getting all the combat highlights, and you're absolutely getting the scathing remarks anytime when we encountered robots.
Oh my, you would see like at any kind of like visceral or particularly descriptive, point of recounting, you would see like the looks of shock and horror, and the hand wringing would get increasingly more frequent with more fervor as he I see. Well, that does sound quite interesting, quite fascinating. If I could put a word on such an event, horrifying, of course, absolutely. But I do think that I could be of great assistance in this endeavor. Just with the nature of it seeming to be some type of ancient civilization that was there with the ancient technologies. That's kind of a specialty, a specialty interest of mine, one could say. So I'm very confident that I would be able to help aid with you in all sorts of robotic manners, if that was the word you could put on it.
So far, I've been taking care of the robots by killing them.
Well, yes, that is certainly a way to get to solve the problem. But it would be good to maybe figure out how they work, or if there's, as simple as might this be, there might be an off switch.
I partially draw my Skymetal sword. I have the off switch.
Veris smiles and nods. Absolutely. I'm with you 100%.
Good. Do we need more alcohol?
I would suggest we get some, yes. Just in
Wasn't
case.
it Danik that got all the alcohol last time?
Yes.
I think we went
Yes, you'd
through
be
a
able to
lot of it,
scrounge
too.
off like his former gear. Yeah.
We did go through almost all of it, though, I think.
You're going to need a lot of alcohol. And not just for drinking. Preferably not the drinking kind.
Mhm.
And I would tell you about the fungus that we've encountered.
Oh, fascinating. Would Veris have heard of anything like this before?
You can give me a Arcana or Nature check with advantage.
Okay, I'll do Arcana.
Mhm.
That's a 13 with advantage.
You recognize it to be before russet mold, a very rare and unique to this region kind of mold. It's unique to Numeria, and it often is mistaken for rust with its like red color. It's both poisonous and also you've never seen anyone succumb to it.
Like, it's not poisonous.
And as in, like, there's never been a case in which they've had someone succumb to it. As in, they would find the body vanished if they were keeping them in palliative care or something. If someone were to die from it. Mm-hmm.
Like, if they found them after they had, like, so that mold kills A.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
B, even if they
but they don't have a body to bury. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh my. And I know what this is. Vera says, it's something called russet mold. It is quite dangerous. So I am impressed that you figured out how to get rid of it. Interestingly enough, anyone who has ever died because of it has disappeared. A fun fact. I'm sure it means nothing. Because we won't die because of it. So that will never happen to us. It's just little factoid that we have. But yes, I do think that alcohol is the way to go, particularly a high concentration of it, in order to ensure that this particular mold does not get to us.
You also would know with that roll. Salt, alcohol, magic of certain varieties, and sunlight can kill off the russet mold. Like, there's some kind of magic that can like banish mold or whatever, that kind of stuff.
And salt, you said?
Yeah, salt, sunlight, and alcohol.
Okay. Okay, yeah, Veris would say that as well. So perhaps we can get some alcohol and also some salt, just to make sure that we have all the ingredients that we may need.
Great, a regular picnic. Is there anything else we need before we go back down there? This time I'm looking at Zaari and Daeralei. I'm really curious to know what you're gonna see, what you're gonna think, and what you're going to make of the discoveries down there, Veris. I have nothing else that I want to do as far as gathering things. I don't believe I've got all my weapons. Yeah. What is Veris wearing? Like in terms of clothes and armor?
Just like basic leather armor, but he does have that big leather coat.
Okay.
So you can go about the merchants and get that refined alcohol and some salt. You can re-equip yourselves with a good amount of that for 2 gold piece total.
As we are getting everything around and preparing to go back down, I am going to take my cloak and give it to Veris. And I think what I'll do is at some point I will come up to you, Veris, and kind of crouch down, having already taken the cloak off, and just say, you should wear this. It'll give you a little extra protection down there. And I'm giving you my cloak of protection.
Would it be like huge on Veris? Or is it like one of those magic items that kind of like shrinks down, or is always
I imagine
the
imagine on Yrsimagor, it's like an actual like a little like cloak, but on you it's like a full cape that like goes around the front and the back.
Yeah.
Like you can like fully bundle yourself up in it. Yeah. Like almost like a poncho. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like one of those. It was
Poncho
almost like
protection.
a handkerchief or like a Boy Scout scarf or something on Yrsimagor. But yeah, I am giving you an actual. I think that's just what it is. I'm just double checking. Yeah, it was just a cloak of protection.
Oh well, thank you, Yrsimagor. I really do appreciate this gift. It is quite meaningful to me, and I absolutely understand the intention behind it, as I too do not wish to. Yes, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much.
If you die, I'm taking it back.
Yes, of course. I will.
But you won't die.
No. Again, not the plan. I don't even have that in my schedule. He like laughs a little bit. Thank you, Yrsimagor.
But with that, you go once more beneath the earth. All right.
Once more into the breach we go.
Veris, this is your first time below the earth here in Torch as you follow along behind the party, swimming through the lake, finding that underground cave, the one that everyone else knows so well, but this is your first time. You follow them as if this is just some like menial task, navigating through these exceptional caverns, past this like chrome steel wall with a hole in it, circular hole. They step through into these man-made chambers with these steel Skymetal walls, polished, smooth, refined, built by ancient people. You're probably just like absolutely enraptured by this. Then they take you through this buried world of sand, this vast desert with a gorgeous sky overhead, a sky that you've never seen before. It's a red sky, though, with a brilliant pair of blue suns that dominate the center of the sky. This, to the others, is that habitat dome where the Kasathas lived, now in full operation once more. And they take you to a hidden hologram where the wall is fake of a cave wall, and step in to reveal a hidden secret entrance. And they continue and continue, taking you to where we had left off. You see these dim, flickering lights above you. They are red-tinged, casting everything in an eerie glow. You can see the signs of russet mold creeping along some of the metal walls. There's chairs, furniture, tables, doors, blood in this area. This is not built by any kind of civilization you've ever seen. In fact, this lines up with all of these strange Skymetal archaeological sites that you've wanted to visit throughout the region. And here you are, finally, within one. It's all around you. What's this like for Veris? What is he like?
I imagine Veris is furiously writing notes. That, and also whenever he sees any hint of that russet mold, just like taking, I would assume that he has like various pouches of salt on his belt, and so he'll be writing. He takes some of the salt out, and like kind of like sprays it on this russet mold whenever he sees like even the tiniest bit of it, and just tries to make a wide swath of it. But you know, everything that he sees, he is writing down, and or a couple comments that he makes of like he'll be writing something down, he'll be like, oh yes, Yrsimagor was right about that. I was incorrect. Good. Yes. I was right about this. Yes. Fascinating. And he's like kind of very quietly kind of muttering to himself as he kind of pitters along behind them writing these notes.
Yeah. Once more, we're in this area, and the three of you, well, you've been here way too many times. You're trying to find Council Member Conir Bane. You're trying to find how to relight the fires of Torch. What do you do?
I'm eager to discover where the remainder of these doors go. We cleared... Did we clear the tree things out, or did some of them just escape up into the trees? I don't remember.
They have been butchered to butchered and slaughtered.
Excellent.
Yep. There were two bodies that you hadn't rummaged through yet. That were like the host bodies that were that were worshipped by these things. And you've like washed out lots of the the russet mold that grows along the floor in this area by just like dousing it and wading through it.
If there were still a couple bodies we hadn't, because I think I was the one that was going through the bodies last time.
I was gonna say it was you and me.
Okay.
So I was gonna suggest you and I go back down there and do the other two.
I do think that getting in here, kind of glancing in towards the atrium or whatever, arboreum, whatever you call it, I imagine there's probably blood still on the floor from where Danik fell. And just for a moment, I would stop and kind of look that way and then kind of shake my head and continue on down to continue what Zaari and I were doing. Rummaging the bodies.
Yeah,
This body... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Zaari will follow and do the other.
Gotcha. Yrsimagor, this body is the mercenary fighter of the group, of the party that has died and perished here. She is an orc fighter, similar to yourself. Big, wide, burly builds, hide armor, a great axe. You see that amongst her belongings, among the russet mold that you wash away, you see some whittling tools, some small pieces of wood, and some carved eagles. 3 of them. As you rummage further, you can see on her shoulder is a tattoo. A tattoo that you recognize from Scrapwall. It's one of the families, one of the gangs there. This is a tattoo that she's a member of. As well as you find her coin pouch of a few gold pieces. And Zaari, you see a Goliath. She is like you in this way. You can tell that she is a bard or a minstrel. She has a feather, hat with a feather in it, and a masterwork lute, still grabbed in her hands. It looks very, very well crafted. In her other hand, clutched still in its death grip, is a Skymetal dagger. You also find her pouch of coins. Together, if you add up their coins, there are 35 gold pieces.
I will take the gold tools and the carved eagles from this orc. And then
I can see in all 4 of them, you recognize them in full as one of the adventuring parties that preceded you. They met their fate here.
Yeah.
I
think.
I'm sorry, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
At this point, I would call to Veris.
Yeah. Veris would come scurrying over. Ah, yes, what is it?
These bodies.
Ooh,
You like to write things
yeah.
down. Maybe you should document.
Oh, yes, of course. Did you kill these? And he quickly looks behind you. No, I see that you didn't. As he begins to scribble.
We're looking for somebody in particular. But many have gone before us. This should help us to count for everyone.
What did the 4 die of?
You can give me a medicine check if you'd like to check it out.
21.
you see that they died of the russet mold itself, creeping through their flesh. You see evidence that they were restrained. They did not die of any like lacerations or wounds. They were very much alive when they succumbed to the russet mold, rather than it
And-
being something that took them already in a state of decay.
And yet, so Daeralei is going to say this out loud, is like, and yet their bodies are still here. Veris, did you not say that the bodies disappear?
That is right. They, no one can find them once they succumb to this mold.
And yet, and Daeralei will just make a wide, grand gesture at the 4 bodies in front in these 4 little rooms.
Veris, you can make an investigation.
I will.
Mhm.
That is a 24.
You see, as a way to counter what Daeralei is saying, you see evidence that these bodies were dragged from another section of this complex. Scuff marks and drag marks suggest that these bodies were pulled into these alcoves from some other area of the of this dungeon.
Daeralei, you make a very, very good point. That normally would be quite confounding. However, he like scuttles over and he like points out, I imagine, with like the tip of, you know, his ink, or whatever he's writing with. He points to it, and you see these marks. Very obviously, there was something that dragged these people into these alcoves, so it could be very much still the case that they succumbed to this and were dragged away, thus disappearing from their normal spot. So it is appearing as though we have found the nexus point of where these individuals are disappearing to, which is very exciting.
But then who's doing the dragging?
I don't know that one. But there is much more to explore and much more to figure out. He says as he looks ever closer at these figures. Does he glean anything more?
No, you notice that these bodies have been like repositioned into like so that they are face up. You see that their bellies have kind of like burst open. And that, of course, the rest of the party remembers when the actual creatures burst from the bodies of these people. But Veris did not see that. Veris did not know that.
It
Other than
appears
that,
as though some type of creature or something emerged from the internal organs from these individuals.
Are the bodies of those things laying around?
absolutely, yeah, you slaughtered them like a dime a dozen. They are strewn about this place.
Like I would just point at there. Sorry. There, and there are all one. And I'll just with my foot kind of push the pieces together so you can see like it's one of these creatures.
I see you're using your off switch again. Very, very good. Veris laughs nervously as he pokes at one part of one with his foot. These were the things that you killed. And killed with these last things that you fought.
This was the last room we were in. Over there, and I point into the room with the trees. That's where Danik fell.
If Veris wants to go into this room, does he see that tree with those banana fruits?
You see a great towering tree in the center of this room, and from this tree are dangling these like really like swollen fruits. They are like ruby red in color with like some mottling of yellow. They give off like a nice sweet aroma, almost like a citrusy banana kind of smell to them. They look quite tasty, in fact. But you see like there's like a smashed one of these fruits on the ground, and you see that it's been stepped in from the action of combat, and it's already like beginning to like fester and like wrinkle up from it.
Veris wants to take. He reaches into his little shelf pack and he takes out these like the glasses that have like the magnifying sections to them as he like puts them on and just tick, 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 as he like zooms in and magnifies this banana part. Does he see anything interesting about this fruit?
On closer inspection, you see that the fruit is like riddled with like fungal hyphae, like little plant strands, that like it seems like it's kind of like infested the plant itself, and it's like really hard to see at first glance because of how thin and like translucent these fibers are. You pull one out and you realize there's like this whole like lawn that there's a mold on the inside of the fruit.
My goodness, this entire fruit is infected with this mold. My goodness, whoever would eat this, they would also become infected. Though, I mean, no one would be foolish enough to just eat a random fruit in the middle of, the underground. That would be silly, he says as he continues to like pull these mold strands.
Don't underestimate literally anyone else. But there were little creatures here as well, and they were trying to shove that fruit into our friend's mouth.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course that makes. They must be trying to infect the host. He like pauses and stops and fascinating.
It was difficult to see.
I have a feeling that our friends over there they probably also were forced to eat the fruit, which might have caused their internal rupture to happen. But fascinating, truly very, very interesting, though. That's quite a gruesome way to reproduce, maybe. Just a hypothesis.
Yrsimagor,
Yes.
make me a perception roll, please, as you kind of kicking about in this area.
That is a natural 1. You know what? I don't use these very often.
Use it.
I'm going to re-roll that. Turn that natural
Good-
1
good
into
plug.
a 15.
Something doesn't add up here. As you were like kicking together one of the bodies of these creatures and kind of milling about this area, you look down. There are not enough corpse bits to add up to how many you slaughtered. They're missing. You see, like you remember counting it. You remember you slew at least, like 8 of them by your own hand, and you kind of look around and you count maybe 6 or 7 remains, like the complete remains.
I think the others would see, as I'm looking around, I actually start moving around the area and actually am picking up and putting the pieces back together again to account for each of these until I get to that point and look at the others. There's not enough bodies here.
Are you saying you need to kill more?
I'm saying the ones that we killed, they're not all here.
What do you mean they're not here?
I killed that one, that one, that one, at least 2 more. You guys took out at least 1 or 2 each.
Do you think they'd be hiding in this overgrowth?
They shouldn't be hiding anywhere. We're dead.
I know. But if they're gone, then maybe they're in the overgrowth.
This doorway into the arboretum or whatever, is there an actual door to it?
There is a door, but it's been kind of forced open by the growth, by all like the plant growth in this area. The mold along the floor, it kind of like jams the door and keeps it from closing.
Well, there goes that.
There's even like a mold that grows in like the crack, like the seam where the door would slide in and out, and it's just glued kind of fast.
I look at Veris. This is why this place is dangerous. Now it seems that even the dead things aren't staying dead.
Well, maybe you just didn't kill it all the way. Maybe?
No.
I narrow my eyes at you when you suggest that I didn't properly kill something. When I kill something, I kill it.
Right. Of course. He Veris puts his. I don't know. He just wants to look around, see if he can see any signs of.
I was going to say the same
dragging.
thing. I want to kind of look around to see if there's any indication that something got up and walked away.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you can make investigation rolls.
Not while Zaari is basically getting ready to make a Molotov cocktail, getting all of her tinderbox in a bottle and this shit out.
Nat 20 for a total of 20.
You got a 7.
I imagine that you've kind of you're revisiting the battlefield in your brain. You're pacing through the steps that you took, the swings, and you're backtracking, the whole choreograph of the fight. And you're kind of realizing these corpses don't quite line up with where you slew them. And you look and you see some the part of a shin of these little creatures up here in this area. How did it get over there? They've moved somehow of their own volition. It appears, you can't get the idea in your head, it appears as if someone came by and just kind of picked up the pieces and took them somewhere. They don't seem to be able to move on their own, but they've some pieces are dropped on this path as you kind of follow these dropped bits of moss and mold and plant matter. Leads you to this door.
Excellent. That's exactly where I wanted to go next anyway.
Daeralei would totally have been following Yrsimagor as you was piecing this together.
Is this a keycard door or just a door?
It is a keycard door.
I don't know who
Zaari
has the
will-
keycards.
Zaari will call for Veris and be like, come.
Yeah, Veris is gonna come, but he's kind of staying close to Zaari, like just kind of like right behind her. I imagine like comes up to her knee, and just like kind of like peers out every so often, draped in this huge cloak.
What's funny is Zaari would probably like offer and just kind of like be like, if you need a ride. And like she'd be like offering to like let him sit on her shoulder.
Yeah, I think Veris he would just like, oh, that would be great. I would have much better of a vantage point, and I would be able to take it. Thank you. Yes, he like scrabbles up like on top and just kind of plugs down on Zari's shoulder, and continues to like write in his little notebook.
Yrsimagor, you try to swipe the brown key card, and you see the door activate from it. It opens a bit and kind of just gets jammed. You hear a crunching sound on the other side of the door. Before it, like the servos kind of kick in, and the door closes once more, as to not break anything. Something's blocking the door
Did
from
it
the other side.
open? Did it open enough to create like a gap?
Maybe like for your fingers, yeah.
I'm
Absolutely.
gonna hand the key card to Daeralei. Swipe this, and then I'm gonna get ready when she swipes it to grab hold of the door and try to strong arm it.
Make me a strength check, please.
Can I do athletics?
No, this is
Okay.
not. I don't think this is a sport.
Nope, that's not right. Try that. 14.
That is enough as you feel whatever's holding the door in place kind of snap and buckle as you see the other side of this door. As you see that there's a bunch of like what it looks like sticks have been, and other like barky plant material has been like shoved into the door crack and like against it to brace it from the other side. As you can just snap those all away, you see a massively overgrown room here, with the outside area of this room, like maybe about 2 feet off the ground, is like this circular pond that encompasses the room. It's reeks of the stagnant water, a trough. That's the better word for it. Like a trough around the outside of the room, filled with like this brackish, moldy water, that's overgrown with this like algae. You can see that there are bits of like metal debris, repurposed tools that have been like staked into this water trough, and are holding together bits of these broken plant creatures together as if like forming some kind of like skeleton or trellis. And you can see like, because of the water, like roots have been growing out of the plant bits, to try to like reform and regrow them together. You see as well, along the edges of this trough, there's like those same fruits kind of like bobbing in the water. They're like sprouting and becoming their own saplings. You see, at the center of this area is what seems to be like some kind of like technological workstation, very much similar to all the other like computers and stuff, in the various other sections of this complex. What do you do?
Is there any sign of any living creatures in here, and B, if no signs, something that looks like they could be hiding.
Yeah, make me a perception roll, please. And any other people who are also wanting to participate in spotting foes in this room.
Another nat 20 for a total of 21.
You see hiding below the water surface, though not as perfectly as they would want it to be. There are 3 of these creatures hiding in the water. One of them is much more massive and shaped almost like to the entire size of a person, hiding below the water surface. This one, like, you can see, probably what stands out to you is you can see like their eyes like right above the surface of the water, like there's like the plant bits and stuff, like the foliage like covering it, but you can just see their eyes peeking out, staring at you, watching your move.
How big is that bigger one?
At least double the other one's size.
Like,
it would go about shoulder to shoulder with you.
Oh, okay. Over my shoulder. We've got company. And I'm going to do what I wanted to do anyway. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to go into the room, and if I can get there, my plan is to reach down. Well, let me ask this question first. You've described the water as brackish.
Yep.
And there's some of the fruit that's kind of floating around in there, but is there any of this red russet mold on the wall?
Yeah, the russet mold is everywhere in this room. That is like it's like overgrowing as a lawn over the water along the ceiling.
Then I'm not going to do what I was going to do, which was I was going to reach in, grab this thing, and kind of like pull it up. But if there's mold everywhere, then well, this is the only door, isn't it?
Yep.
Did I break
one
it when
entrance,
I opened
one
it?
exit. No, the door now works fine. It was like jammed on purpose, you notice, to stop you from entering, probably.
I guess Daeralei's the closest, and I see Zaari down there. We got 2 more of those little shits and a big one in the corner. They're all hiding in the water. Unless you tell me otherwise. And I start to draw my sword.
Daeralei is just kind of looking at you like, okay, got you back. She doesn't say anything, but...
We had... I'm trying to remember, the alcohol we had, was it in like bottles of alcohol or flasks or something like that?
I imagine it as like just a big jug. A big like porcelain jug or something. Not porcelain, but like ceramic or clay. And corked. Nice and tight.
I'm a barbarian, but I'm not stupid. In fact, I probably say that to Daeralei. I may be a barbarian, but I'm not stupid. There's mold everywhere in this place.
I think Zaari, so long as this is okay, if she gets close enough to Daeralei where she can kind of touch Yrsimagor. Again, if you will allow this, Vi, she would like to cast heroism on him. So
Nice. Yrsimagor, you are the receiver of heroism. I mean, what does heroism do for us?
Heroism, a willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points equal to my spellcasting modifier, which is a +4 at the start of each of its turns.
Oh,
When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points from this spell. So every turn you gain 4 temporary hit points.
so I think the surge of heroism is going to make me do a very barbarian thing. It's what I wasn't going to do when I said I may be a barbarian, but I'm not stupid. If I have the jug of alcohol, I'm going to just do this. If somebody else has it, I'm going to grab it from them, and I'm going to throw it down on the floor in this room so that it shatters and alcohol goes everywhere. And at the same time as the alcohol is hopefully removing the russet mold, I am going to charge in with the intent to thrust my sword down into the water after the big leafy boy.
All right. As you charge into the room, this will trigger their ready attacks against you, and we will enter initiative, as they have been waiting. So you will take 3 attacks. Three ready actions against you. The two the 2 little guys will attack you with their spears bursting from the water. That's going to be an 18 and a 19 to hit.
1 second.
For a total of 15 piercing damage between the 2 hits.
1 second. My entire character sheet just finished.
Incredible.
All right, there we go. It was showing my AC is higher than it was because it didn't actually delete my cloak of protection. Sorry, the hits were what?
18 and 19 to hit.
Yes, those hit.
Yeah, and it'll be 7 damage and 8 damage for a total of 15 damage, piercing damage from 2 spears. They burst out from the water, emerging onto the ground next to you, to stab you. And then you see them like as if it was acid burning their feet, the alcohol, as they like hot, shot on their the 2 little toes. And likewise, the other one will burst from the water, and bashing you with what appears to be this like magical glowing warhammer. Definitely not suiting either this creature nor the environment you're in. And will make 2 attacks against you with its magical warhammer.
Should have raged before I went in this room.
That's going to be a 21 to hit and a 13 to hit.
The 21 hits.
Okay, so that's going to be 5 points of bludgeoning damage. And then you may make your attack that you're wanting to do. And then we'll enter initiative.
Okay, so I would, at this point, being attacked, I would absolutely rage. So yeah, I'm gonna rage, and then I'm going to do what I was intending to do, which is slice into the big guy. That's gonna be a 23 to hit.
That hits.
And that's versatile, 2-handed, for a total of 6 points of magical slashing damage. Oh,
Okay.
wait. 1 second. Why does it say plus? Oh, there's an additional plus 1d4 to slashing on this sword. So that's an additional 2. Oh, make that additional 4 because I'm raging.
Gotcha.
So I think that was 10 total.
That's 10 exactly. All right. Now, initiatives from everyone. That's going to be, we have Daeralei with 11. Yrsimagor with a 15. Zaari with a 20. Veris, what did you get for your initiative? Or are you not participating in the combat?
Oh no, yeah, he is 11.
Okay, 11 as well. Okay. Who has a higher dexterity between you and Daeralei?
I have a +3.
Yeah, Daeralei.
And they get 13. Okay, Zaari, it is your turn as you see Yrsimagor bursting into the room, chucking the alcohol bottle, having explode everywhere, and then go in swinging. And you see these creatures emerge from the overgrown water, striking at Yrsimagor with their own weapons in turn. What do you want to do?
I think Zaari would kind of like help Veris down before the fight starts. And then I believe she would, I think she'd kind of look at Daeralei, just like not saying a word, but kind of like giving her this knowing look, like, I'm going to get past you. And she will slip in behind Yrsimagor and start, I believe I can do that. And just go for, oh, where's my cool little pointer? This one. And she will use her. No, we'll use the long sword today.
Oh. We're in...
That's a 10. I don't think that's gonna do anything.
10 is not going to do it.
Okay, yeah. Because of heroism, I am not going to do anything else.
Okay. It is now the big guy's turn. You see the wounds you struck beginning to knit together, not nearly as fast as you imagine them to. The alcohol is, after all, begin to soak into its kind of plant membranes and slowing it down. But again, holding this hammer aloft will go 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks against you for its turn.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to be an 18,
Yep.
a 7, a natural 20, and a 17.
All but the 7 hit.
Nice.
Should re-roll that natural 20.
Do you want me to re-roll the
Yeah.
natural 20 by consuming some domain relics?
I forget what it is. Is it 3 for a reroll? I honestly don't remember.
That sounds right to me. Yeah.
We haven't done this in so long.
Mhm.
Oh no, it still shows the Pathfinder stuff. Okay. So we'll drop 3 of these. And reroll.
I re-roll my natural 20. I get an 18 on the die for a total of 23. So
Yep.
still 3 hits against
Better than
you.
a crit.
You're going to take 9 bludgeoning, and then 12 bludgeoning, and then 7 bludgeoning.
28
So
total.
that's 26 total.
26 total, so
bludgeoning.
13.
Yes. It is magical bludgeoning, however. I don't know if that does that bypass your.
No.
It doesn't. Okay. Cool. All right. That was its turn. Goes to you, Yrsimagor. What do you want to do?
Take this thing's head off. I am going to attack recklessly. Oh wait, I get 4 temporary hit points. Start of my turn. And yeah, I'm gonna attack this thing recklessly
Mhm.
with Yeah, I'm gonna just continue with the sword for now. So reckless is advantage roll. Oh my! Oh, whew. It was a 4 and it rolled over to an 18, so that's a 24 to hit.
That hits.
So that's gonna be a total of 4 is 8 plus 2 for raging is 10 plus the D4 is another 2, so 12 total magical slashing.
Yeah. You cut in again, but this thing is way bigger and tougher than the smaller plant creatures you've cut down a slaughter before. Like your sword, doesn't dig in nearly as deep, and even then, it just kind of shrugs it off as you kind of slice in and hack away part of its frame. You know that you can even see it after you like slice off a bit of the mass. It just kind of begins to regrow again in its place.
I think.
It'll take more than that to fell this creature.
Let me just double check something real quick, because I don't think I can. Let's see. Can't do adrenaline rush. All right. I think the last thing I'm gonna do is it an action at the end of my turn? Usually it's an object interaction. I just want to check with you to sheath my sword.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to sheath my sword and then kind of do this with my fists that are animalistic. The sword's clearly not working. And that's the end of my turn.
All right. The smaller plant creatures will attack. One of them will attack you, Yrsimagor. The other one will attack you, Zaari. Against Yrsimagor, because you attack recklessly, it'll get advantage against you. Getting a 14 to hit.
Yes.
All right. Zaari, the other one attacks you. That's going to be a 14 to hit, which also misses.
Miss, yes.
You. All right. The bits of plant that have been like scaffolded together, above the water, drinking from it, they begin to shift and move at the sounds of the combat, at the gestures of this larger one. They are not in fully intact, but enough. Like, there's an arm that kind of reaches down and kind of slides itself from its trellis and begins to kind of like slash at Yrsimagor and at you, Zaari. It's going to be 2 slashes at each of you from these.
I think I
like,
just accidentally moved one of your guys.
Yeah, it's over here somewhere. As these half regenerated plant corpses will slash at you. For Yrsimagor, that's going to be a 11 to hit and a 6 to hit, which neither of those will hit. And Zaari, actually, those should have been at advantage. So we'll say 11 and 6 will be 11 for advantage, and then the second hit will be a 14 to hit, which also doesn't hit. Okay. And then Zaari, the 2 attacking you. Again, a 6 won't hit you. Okay, so these claws are meek and frail. They kind of like scratch at your armor, but don't dig into your flesh. That brings us to Daeralei. It is your turn.
So Daeralei is looking at the one that's the big one that's on Yrsimagor, and for anybody who could see at this moment, Daeralei like kind of is mumbling these strange words, and their eyes are like, they're normally this haunted like white, and then all of a sudden at this moment they're becoming these dark, almost Starfield eyes. It's very weird. But basically, Daeralei is casting Mind Spike at the big guy, so he needs to make a Wisdom saving throw.
He gets a total of 15 on his Wisdom save.
That is enough to make it. He needed the DC was 14, so he takes half damage on this. So I rolled 11 for damage, so he takes half.
So he'll take 5 damage.
I am actually also, as I'm casting, take 2 more. Casting it, Daeralei just kind of, as soon as the spell is cast, kind of closes her eyes in pain, as there's a shooting pain in her brain, but the dude takes 2 more points.
Awesome. That's the end of your turn?
Yes, that is
Alright.
the end of my turn.
Veris, it is your turn.
So I'm guessing Yrsimagor doesn't look too great.
You might say I'm bloodied.
Yeah. So can Veris kind of run in? Can he get to Yrsimagor?
Absolutely, yeah. You are small,
Yeah.
so you can squeeze in between people just fine.
Cool.
Even darting between their legs and whatever. You can get there, no problem. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he's gonna do that, and you feel like the tiniest little pat on your leg, Yrsimagor is like, "Don't give up on me now, friend," he says as he's gonna cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level on Yrsimagor. And that is going to be 9 points of healing.
Excellent.
And that was
That
your
is his
action.
turn.
No bonus action.
No.
All right.
Oh,
Go to the-
sorry.
oh,
He is also going to give Yrsimagor a bardic inspiration in
Ooh.
that same breath.
What does that do?
You can add ability check, attack roll, saving throw. You can add a 1d6.
1d6.
yeah. So yeah, use it and then it's used up. So
Yeah.
attack rolls, saving throws, skill checks. Zaari, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Um, something real quick. Is this okay? She's gonna try and hit the little guy in front of her again.
All right, give me that attack roll.
That is a nat 1, so no.
Bang.
My initiative roll was really, really nice.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, that is all I can
All
do.
right. The big plant creature. It's turn again. Its flesh knits back together just a bit from where you've been hacking at it. Not nearly. You see that it's been like stymied quite a bit by the alcohol, so it does not regenerate nearly as much. It kind of like takes a step back, kind of seeing like this nasty wound you've made across its shoulder, and it sees the cluster of all 4 of you dominating the center of the room here. It will then like these like long, they'll almost look like dreads, these plant tendrils from its scalp. It'll like shake them, and all of a sudden like they see this cloud of spores erupting from its head as it does a spore cloud centered within 15 feet of itself, which hits everybody in this room. All 4 of you, please, need to make me a Constitution saving throw to resist the spores.
Got a 15.
I got a 13.
I got a big whopping 4.
And what do you get, M, for Veris?
For con save?
Yep.
A 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sorry. And Zaari, you said you got a 13, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Yrsimagor is the only one that passes. Everyone else is poisoned. You have the poisoned condition. In addition, while you are poisoned in this way, you'll be taking 2d8 poison damage at the start of each of your turns, and at the ends of your turns, you can repeat the con save to try to shrug off the poison. But while you are poisoned, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. But attack rolls is the big one. So all of you, have disadvantage on attack rolls for being poisoned and will be taking damage. After the spores, again taking this hammer and driving it twice, 2 smashes against you, Yrsimagor, trying to just break your bones and try to defeat you. And you're still recklessly attacking as of last turn, so it gets advantage on the attack against you. So for the first hit is going to be a 21, and the second hit is going to be a natural 20. Again, another critical hit. Which I imagine, are you going to be using domain relics to make me reroll this one?
No, I'm saving these for my companions who are poisoned. I feel like
Okay.
they might need it more than me, even though I just took a crit, but I'm raging.
Okay, so for the first hit will be 7 magical bludgeoning, which gets halved down to 3. And for the critical hit, it will be 20 bludgeoning, halved down to 10 for you. So you take 13 total bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
That was its turn. Yrsimagor, it is your turn. You regain 4 at the start of your turn.
4
Right?
temp HP.
Mm-hmm.
And I am, since this thing sort of took a step back, I know it's not really out of combat, but I'm going to, this is more just for flavor, I'm going to step up onto this chair and just kind of use it to push off and come down with a punch on this thing, sort of doing one of those flying punches. Using my beast claws, I get, once per turn, I get to make a second attack with my claws.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be making 2 attacks on this thing. That's going to be 21 for the first one,
That hits. Yeah.
and dirty 20 for the second one.
That's 2 hits.
So that's going to be 10 for the first, 10 bludgeoning. The
Mhm.
first one. Let me just double check that. No, sorry, that's 10 slashing. My fists are slashing. My claws, I should say. And 9 for the second one. So 19 slashing total.
Gotcha. Yeah, you have bloodied this creature, knocking it below half hit points.
I should
As you
have
do
attacked, but I
2
didn't.
massive blows.
And that's my turn.
All right. It is now the 2 creatures' turns. Again, one will attack you, Zaari. The other will attack you, Yrsimagor. You did not recklessly attack, so they do not get advantage against you. Sorry, it's a 19 to hit against you. And against Yrsimagor, that is another natural 20, a critical hit from this little guy.
Get on.
All right, so you, Zaari, you're going to take 6 points of piercing damage from the spear tip. And Yrsimagor, you're going to take 13 piercing, which gets halved it down to 6 piercing from the critical hit spear. The half regenerated plant creatures will continue to pull themselves from their trellises, from their scaffolding, to rake you with their half-formed claws, one upon each of you, Zaari, Veris, and Yrsimagor. So against Yrsimagor, that's going to be an 8 to hit, which does not hit. Against Veris, that's going to be a 10 to hit, which I imagine does not hit. And against Zaari, that is going to be a 19 to hit, which I do imagine hits. And that will be 4 points of slashing damage. Daeralei, it is your turn.
So you said at the start of the turn we take damage because of
Yes.
poison?
So at the start of your turn, you will take 10 points of poison damage as the spores destroy your immune system and your organs from the inside out. What do you want to do?
Daeralei is going to again try to mind spike the big leafy boy, concentrating on that creature because that seems the most dangerous. So make that DC 14 whiz
He got
save.
a 6 on his whiz save.
Yes! Okay. So he takes full damage. Didn't roll. Full damage, which is 14 psychic damage. Yeah, take 2 additional. As Daeralei grunts in pain. And if it matters, from now on, until this spell ends, I will know where it is. It cannot become hidden from me, and if it does become invisible, it will gain no benefit from that condition against me.
Ooh,
I have locked in on it. That is my turn, so I roll con save. Is that right?
You can repeat your con save.
Oh, a 15.
All right, you shake off the poison. You are no longer poisoned, and will not be taking poison damage anymore.
Perfect.
And Veris, it is your turn. You'll take some poison damage at the beginning of your turn. You're going to take 3 poison damage, and you may go about your turn.
Is Zaari is still poisoned, right?
Yes.
Zaari and me are the only two?
Yep.
Okay. Veris in this was facing forward to help Yrsimagor. Is going to reach back and is going to rest his hand on Zaari and is going to cast Lesser Restoration on Zaari to relieve the poisoned condition.
Sorry, you are no longer poisoned. Anything else in your turn?
Yeah, it's going to take another bonus action, and again, in that healing restorative, there's another little extra bardic inspiration. You get that extra 1d6.
Right.
For
At the
one.
end of your turn, you repeat the saving throw.
Con?
Yep.
It's not against magic, is it? No.
Nope. It's against poison.
Oh, I guess it doesn't matter anyway. Never mind. It's an 11.
11 is not enough to shake off the poison.
Okay.
All right, Zaari, it is your turn. You are no longer poisoned, so you do not take damage at the beginning of your turns.
Hooray!
What would you like to do?
I am going to I think taking a page from Veris's book, Zaari will kind of change hands. I did not, but I can. I can do that right now. Oh, jeez. It's just another con save, isn't it? Which would have been a 12. So that might be gone now.
How much damage did you take?
I took 10.
That'd be DC 10.
It's DC 10, so if you got a 12, then you
yep,
pass the
I got a 12, then I
concentration check.
passed.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. My brain stopped working because I was having to remember numbers. I am going to take a page out of Veris's book and kind of switch hands with my sword for a moment, reach over. I don't even have to reach over, I don't think. It says I
Yeah,
can
you're adjacent.
touch.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So just kind of reach over, and it's almost like a slap on your back, Yrsimagor, as I cast Lay on Hands, and I give you 10 hit points.
In my current state of rage, I probably don't even feel it.
Probably not, but
Oh shoot! I just gave myself 10 damage.
no,
Did
don't
that
do
the
that.
wrong way.
Anything else with your turn, Zaari?
Nope, that is my action, and I'm still concentrating on
On heroism.
heroism. So
All right. The big burly guy will regenerate a little bit of hit points, and then again 4 massive mallet swings with this magical warhammer will come down upon you, Yrsimagor. Break you, break you, break you. 1, 2. You did not recklessly attack.
Did not.
All right, so I got an 8 to hit, an 8 to hit, an 18 to hit, and another natural 20.
That's the third crit against me. Bring it on.
Okay.
That's
So
2
that's gonna be a
hits.
hit and a one hit and a crit. Okay, so the normal hit is going to be 5 points of bludgeoning, halved down to 2, and the second hit, which is a critical hit, is going to be a massive 22 halved down to 11 bludgeoning damage critical hit. Yrsimagor, it is your turn.
I take my 4 temp. And this. Yeah, I'm going to recklessly attack with 2 more claw strikes. The first one. Hold on. First one. Oh, sorry. That's 24, but let me just re-roll in case it crits. So, no, it was a 24 on the first one. Now let me click advantage. The second one, yes, is a natural 20 right back at you.
All right, hell yeah.
Oh, that feels good.
So
All right, so
a hit and a crit.
So the hit is the regular hit is going to be 10, 12 slashing.
Mhm.
And the crit is going to be oh wait, hold on. It did that stupid thing where it automatically adds up. Let me re-roll. That's not 12. I thought that was too many dice. It's 9 for the first hit.
So not 12, but 9 to 3
Correct.
more. Okay.
And then
Yep.
it would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 3, so 13 for the crit.
Describe for me, please, how you vanquish your foe as you drop this creature down to 0 hit points. Give it to me in
With-
massive description.
Since I'm attacking recklessly and with these sort of beast claws, I think just fueled by rage and the heroism, and I think what really pushed me over the edge is these things that are getting past me and are hitting Zaari and Veris, and I just go in with a feral roar and start tearing at this thing, ripping it apart. And the last thing I'm going to do, just for flavor as it goes down, is I rip this hammer out of its hands and just drive it right into what looks like its face.
It's like another spurt of like spores as you like smash the hammer into its head, but not enough to like cause you any kind of
And if you'll allow
saving
it
throw.
as an object interaction, I would like to treat that I picked up that hammer.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
because I'm going to, on my next turn, swing it at the remaining little shits.
All right.
But yeah, I attacked recklessly. That's the end of my turn.
Mhm. It is now the little shits' turns. As they turn to see you defeating their fallen leader, they attack you for justice, for vengeance. They will attack you with 2 spear strikes, each with advantage. So it's going to be this guy's dead. I can delete him. A 16 to hit,
Mm-hmm.
and then a 23 to hit. So 2 hits against you. So it's going to be 6 plus 4, 10 piercing total, halved down to 5 damage between their 2 spear strikes.
That's what I'm here for, to soak up the damage.
And then the disembodied claws and half-formed plant creatures will again strike out at the 3 of you, 1 on each. Yrsimagor, a 16 hits you. You'll take 2 slashing, halved down to 1 slashing. Veris, a 10 misses you, and Zaari, a 14, I think, misses you. Yeah, so they scratch uselessly against your armor. Daeralei, it is your turn.
Daeralei is going to take just a smidgen of a step across the doorway so that they've got a good vision of the dude on the right of Yrsimagor.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to send out this pulse of starfire, we'll call it. Eldritch blasting. I'm going to try to Eldritch blast. 16 to hit.
That hits.
Wow, for 13 points.
Is it on this guy on the right, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
little dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that deletes him. In 1 blast.
Oh, cool. That is my turn.
And you shook off the poison. Yes, you
I
don't
did,
take any
yeah.
damage. Veris, you will take poison damage at the beginning of your turn because you are still poisoned.
Mhm.
You will take 8 points of poison damage from the spores infecting your body. What do you want to do?
Gonna cast another Cure Wounds on Yrsimagor.
Okay.
That's 6 healing for Yrsimagor. Yeah.
At the end of your turn, you can make that
Mhm.
con save.
15.
That is a pass. You shake off the poison. You are no
Hooray.
longer poisoned.
Cool.
Zaari, it is your turn.
Hooray. Let's see if, my stabby stab works. Since there's, just one now. A 20, a dirty 20.
That hits.
Cool. And we'll do it one-handed for funsies. So 9 damage with that. And can I add Divine Smite to that?
Yes, you can. You may use a spell
will
slot to Divine
eat-
Smite.
I will eat a spell slot to Divine Smite that for funsies. For another 8 damage, so 17.
You
math is right.
delete this creature as well. And with that, with all the enemies vanquished, the crawling, half-formed creatures, they barely had any energy left in them as they pull themselves too far out of the water. They no longer have the nutrients to keep moving, and they kind of collapse down on the ground. Yrsimagor, you're still smashing in the head of this big one as the violence comes to a close, and you're able to catch your breath once more, get a bearing for your surroundings. That's every last one of them, you imagine. Slaughtered, smashed, broken.
I imagine for a moment just spinning around, intending to face whatever else is left, whipping around, and the rest of you would just see whatever. I imagine this sort of plant matter, viscera all over me, and just whipping around, and just with that feral roar, looking for a target and not seeing one. It takes a moment for it takes a minute for me to sort of start to calm down, breathing a little deeper, and Are you all right? Looking at both Zaari and Veris.
Oh yes, we're doing absolutely fine. How are you doing? You seem a little tense. Angry?
It's a battle rage. If not for the anger, I wouldn't be standing here. Well, if not for both of you, I wouldn't be standing here still. And then I look right at you, Veris. This is your first taste of what dangers lie for us. Are you sure you want to continue with us?
You see, like, Varys looking around, his nose is like twitching in his whiskers, as well as he's kind of sniffing the air that is now, I'm assuming, full of like this decaying plant matter. And he looks around, he's like, you know, when you have your calculations and what you expect, it is always a little bit different from the actual event itself. And I won't say that that wasn't absolutely horrifying and terrifying, but you know, I figure we all did a very good job. Yes, I would like to continue. I think that I have proven myself as a competent member of this team, and I hope you would agree with that.
I do.
Very good. Excellent. That is fantastic news, because I've been taking lots of really, really fantastic notes, and I would hate to have it end so quickly, just as you know, just before we've even started. Not to say that I'm taking any of this very lightly. I will have, you know, sleep very, very well after this. Maybe have some horrifying nightmares of plants, but I think we did very well.
I think while Veris is just continuing on talking, with that look of weariness post rage, I just walk out of the room. And in the hallway, I lean against the wall and sort of slump to the ground and just kind of sit there, still kind of breathing heavy a little bit. And just sort of holding this plant matter gore covered hammer, and just kind of taking a look at the hammer that I'm holding now.
The hammer you're holding seems ill fit for your hands. It is actually like sized for a smaller creature than you. And you recall the body of the kobold paladin that you rummaged through. Etched onto the side of this warhammer is the same, holy symbol as around her neck of that corpse. This hammer glows about 5 feet of light, and feels like very innately powerful and magical, though does require attunement to unlock its properties.
Sorry, it requires what?
Full attunement to
attunement.
unlock its properties. Attunement.
For now, I will stow it in my back. Just gonna add mystery hammer.
What do the rest of you do?
Varys wants to go and inspect this seat while throwing salt on his pat, like ahead of him.
Absolutely. Give me that investigation check, please.
15.
You see that this seat that used to be for accessing this, whatever this workbench is, this apparatus, this console, has been transformed instead into some kind of throne that you imagine would seat this powerful plant creature. At its side, you see like just all like the trinkets and belongings and treasures that have been scattered from various sections of this complex. Of note, amongst the mostly garbage that it all is, you find 9 silver discs and this strange like metal circular object with a white band down the center. Something that you saw Yrsimagor kind of flash up and tap a console next to the door. This is a white keycard that you found.
Yeah, Veris shows this up triumphantly towards, I think Zaari, as she's still in the room. I have seen Yrsimagor use this before. Perhaps it can be useful. It looks a little different than the one that he used.
They can be. I think Zaari would approach Veris and the Skymetal dagger that she picked up from that Goliath. I think she's gonna kind of pull it out of her pack, and with the blade sitting against her forearm, she's gonna offer the handle to Veris. I think you've at least earned this.
Oh, he like takes the blade and looks at it. This is great craftsmanship. I'm not usually one for a blade. I do have some for protection, of course. You sure?
That will work better for you here.
Very well. And he, as you've given him this, he kind of and gives you the key card.
So that Skymetal dagger is like a regular dagger, except that it's insanely sharp and extremely durable, and as such, deals a bonus D4 damage. So
wow.
it'll do 2d4 damage instead of 1d4.
Okay. Okay.
But with this area rummaged through, your kind of your centers gathered once more. I think this is where we're going to leave off for next session, picking up here where we left off.
I'm sorry, I almost got us killed. I'm sorry, I almost got me killed.
I was about to say, it was mainly you.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe that I survived 3 crits against a 4-attack multi-attack. I must have taken, what, 12 or 16 attacks from that thing. And there were 3 crits in there.
So many.
Honestly, it was the combination of the heroism, and you guys dumped probably, what? It was
It's
10
30
lay
hit
on
points of
hand.
healing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think about
Yeah.
30 points of healing.
Mhm.
The lowest I got, I think, was at one point I was down to like 18 or 13 or something. I finished up at 22, which is less than half of my hit points. But I burned through every time I would get those temp HP, they were gone immediately the next time, so that saved about 12. Yeah, I would. The only thing that might have helped me is, as an orc, I get the
You don't actually die when you go to zero.
relentless endurance.
Yeah.
So it might have kept me up for at least one more round, but
Yeah.
wow. And I think it's safe to say that everybody loves Veris.
I didn't know what he was. I never know what my characters are gonna sound like or talk like until I start, and then it's like, well, yeah, this is Veris.
It's the combination of the way you're playing him, but also those little adorable rat characteristics you keep throwing in.
Yep.
It's amazing.
I can just see my old rat Snickerdoodle.
No.
I was envisioning my old rat Veda. I had a white an albino rat many years ago named Veda. She was adorable. She liked to run. I'd put my hand down in the cage, and she would run up my arm, down my shoulder, and get in my pocket.
Mm-hmm. Mine like to get right in the hood of my hoodie.
Same.
Snickerdoodles.
Scared the crap out of my mom when I walked over to their house. It was like 3 blocks from my apartment, and by the time I got there, I forgot that I had Veda was kind of chilling on my shoulders, and my mom screamed when she poked her head up out of the hood. Oh man, that was awesome. Thank you, Vi.
It was.
And everybody. So, barring any other circumstances, we will be back with our next session of Skymetal in 2 weeks. So that would be on the 19th of March. In the meantime, we hope to see you on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. for Welcome to Paradise Academy, Season 2 of our Kids on Bikes game, where you can find myself, Em, and several other friends playing as children and teenagers in 1985 at the wonderful Paradise Academy, where nothing is out of the ordinary and everything is perfectly normal. And then we'll be back on Monday with Scribes and Scrolls. We've been off for the last couple weeks, doing a little bit of a getting ready to go into the next arc. So yeah, we hope to see you there for that. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for people who supported with bits and subs and all that. We always appreciate that. Love seeing everybody active in the chat. If you're somebody that likes to lurk silently in the chat, or maybe you're watching with us on the VOD later, just know that we appreciate you and we hope that you enjoy this presentation. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to everybody gathered around this virtual table. Thank you to our Game Master Vi, and to Kaeryn, Sara, Em, and myself, without whom this would just be Vi talking to herself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want.
A TPK.
No.